The culture is, well, it's changing now. It still has very strong aspects of a hunter-gatherer culture. Hunting is really an important part of what they do. And that was another thing that was hard for me to make the transition to. As I had grown up not in a hunting type of an environment, and coming here and seeing that really hunting was a way of life. It was part of the Greenland experience. So I actually started hunting with some of the locals. And they're, you know, this is, they use everything that they get out of their hunt. So it's not, you know, there's no waste. It's not trophy hunting at all, or in any way like that. That was one thing. Also, they just have a way of using the land or of reacting to the way the conditions, you know, what conditions are presented. And if it's a sunny day out and the hunting is good, they go off and hunt. They don't worry about their 9-to-5 job. It's just not part of the culture. So it's a very sensible way of approaching sort of life in general, of letting these harsh conditions drive the way they live. The most exciting thing is the nature, is getting out into the nature. I mean, from a personal standpoint, not a professional standpoint. I have several extended multi-week trips out in the nature, some with some, you know, hair-raising experiences where our canoe fell over a waterfall and was destroyed, and we were several weeks north of here. And anyway, there were a few things, but so I don't want to point to one, but really just getting out into the environment. And there are a few places where you hear nothing that has anything to do with technology. And I've been off in the backcountry and heard nothing from technology for weeks at a time. And I think that's really special about the Arctic. To be honest, I was attracted to it partly for the adventure. I mean, I got into this kind of work partly with the idea of being able to get into the Arctic and do some exploring. And then the science just sort of grabbed a hold of me, and I decided to pursue it after that. After years of working in the field now, I think there's still so many mysteries to be solved. So, you know, there's so many layers to this onion that there's a lot more interesting work to be done. And on top of that, the people in the field are a pretty cohesive group and a really fun group to be with. It's not, you know, there's always some butting heads no matter what job you do. But I think it's a really good group as a whole, and the instruments you get to use are really interesting. There's a lot of hands-on work. An awful lot of researchers actually build their own instruments. And even as grad students, a lot of grad students build their own instruments. It's such a big field and a small field, that there are big problems, there are small problems, but there are a lot of problems, and they all fit together. And we're trying to, you know, we're sitting in here in Greenland in a very rudimentary society with huge nature, and we're studying things in space. I mean, we're trying to do space science. My goodness, what a contrast is that from the rocket man type of way of thinking, or, you know, the way you visualize space research, to being able to do it in incredible locations.